Hello and welcome to Insane Dicing Skills podcast number 7 with the fourth game from MAPM-Single tournament. So, after 3 games on Saturday, there were 2 games left on Sunday, and my first game was against Max Linke with Undying Dynasties. You see his roster right over here. So, yeah, we have a Hierophant with 4 spells on the Arc of Ages, so he has all 6 spells from his, how is this called? This Vampire Lore. With the Soul Conduit upgrade, that means that he always has D6, no, he has D3 plus 7 dice, and I have always 6 Dispel dice, so yeah, always a pretty good magic phase for him. Book of the Dead, so he heals his own units every time he casts an augment spell on them. And Obsidian Nullstone, so yeah, whatever, I don't have any magic. Yeah, Evocation, sorry, this was the name of the lore. Then he has a Pharaoh with the Vanquisher Eternal, that's a Hilbert with D3 wounds and lethal strike, so yeah, everyone of my heroes is uh, uh, pretty scared by him. And what else do we have? So yeah, Harbinger BSB, so that the big unit of Necro Guard has Hatred 2. Yeah, then I just came to the Necropolis Guard. So 14 guys with Stalker Banner, paired weapon, full command. So this all together is a pretty big brick of units. A pretty big brick of one unit and many points just in this unit. So the rest is not that much anymore. So we have 6 skeleton chariots, 9. So 9 in one unit. It's a pretty big unit, and just with movement 8, I think even if they have light troops, but it's pretty difficult to move them on the battlefield, because yeah, you can easily catch them. So I think this was big points I could get there. Some skeleton archers and some are skeleton cavalry. So he has 4 scoring units in total, 1 catapult and 3 scarab swarms. So besides of the Necropolis Guard, nothing much to worry. But yeah, I think this Necro Guard was a pretty big brick, and since all the whole unit has Lethal Strike 2, with all my cavalry units, I was pretty scared by this. But yeah, let's jump into the game. So these are the pictures after deployment. Okay, so let's start. This is a picture after my Vanguard already. So I just put all the barbarians behind the hill to make sure that he can't shoot on them with his catapult. Yeah, I tried to drop. We played, I think it was, how is this called? Encircled, right? Where you have the more in the flank and more on the center, something like this. So he chose to have bigger deployment zone in his center, and I had more deployment on the flanks. And the objective was capture the flag, so we had to destroy units, scoring units, and I took these 3 units, the archers, chariots, and the cavalry over here, so not the Necro Guard, and I already got these 3 barbarians. So that's why I tried to hide them behind the hill. We dropped, and he wanted to have the first turn. So that's why I was pretty fine with that I could protect them from the catapult, since he has 1 shot where he causes a panic check with -1, so just a reroll 6 for the barbarians, and I didn't want to let them run off the table so fast. Yeah, I wasn't sure about my deployment. I took some time for me, but then I decided, yeah, I would just want to go pretty fast through this pass here. Since he deployed everything in the center, he wasn't able to protect all of his units with his Necro Guard, and that's why I was pretty confident that I could kill these 3 scoring units. There was one mistake in the deployment already, that I placed both of the lords inside one unit. I thought the spell from Evocation, the 6 as I think it's called, has just 12 range, but it's actually 18. I just forgot about that. And the next thing is the Arc of Ages gives him 3-inch more range for his spells. So the next picture is after his first deployment. So nothing much happened. He redirected these Lust Riders with these guys. How are they called? With his Skeleton Riders, Archer Riders, and shot with his chariots on them too. And yeah, he cast this Hasten the Hour, I think it's called, on the unit with both lords. So I took already this scroll against that. Yeah, because losing a wound is not that big in the first place, but he also has a sniper, and I will have to care about the sniper all the next turns too, and I don't know. Maybe I could just have let that through because I've still 4-up ward save or regen left, and next turn I will be somewhere around here. So he would have had to turn the whole unit to look in that direction to sniper on my lords and stuff, and I think he would try to go to kill the barbarians with the unit. Since he just can't waste the whole game turning all the time his 2,500 points unit just to cast some spells on these lords. So that would be just such a waste. But yeah, let's see what was then the next picture. Yeah, so I dispelled that, and it was a scroll, and I think I dispelled something. What else did I dispel? Yeah, the sniper I dispelled, and then he could move his unit next time. So I think is it still the Dance of Macabre? Yeah, I think it's called that. So we moved his Necro Guard another 8-inch forward. So this is the picture then after my second movement phase. I decided to declare a charge here with the chariot guy on these redirectors, on these skeleton archer riders. I also thought about maybe just going for these guys, just to push on them, because these are easy points to get with the chariot. Even if they charge me, I should able to hold just against them. But there was a opportunity to pin down the skeleton skeleton cavalry, and I wanted to go for this because the chariot needed the 10 to overrun inside the chariots, and I placed the dogs that way that the chariot would either get the 10 and have it a successful charge, or would, if I don't roll the 10, I would stand 1 inch inside of these dogs, and then he wouldn't be able to charge the chariot, so he had to charge the dogs and then overrun into the chariot, which means that I would have had counter charges just for that case. So yeah, even for example was a how is this called? The Shaggot or the Lords from over here. I also shot with the Lust Riders on this unit. I got a hit, and so they had to test for stupidity next turn, and they weren't in range of his BSB or general anymore. So just a test on 7 for stupidity, which was also quite nice. So even if I don't get the 10, there's a fairly high chance that he couldn't charge me either. yeah, I had to stop these scarab swarms. They are pretty nasty, was distracting, and since I didn't had any chance to kill them in another way, I just throw something just in front of them, which also meant that his whole unit couldn't charge anything. Just the scarab swarms could do something, and then it wouldn't be that easy for him uh, to move more to these barbarians. Yeah, I just forgot to mention that in the first turn, his catapult misfired and he couldn't shoot this next turn. So even in the second phase, he wasn't able to shoot. And I started to move my barbarians. So I realized these guys had to do reform to try to escape in this direction, and the other ones just went a little bit more left, so I could spread them a little bit more that it wouldn't be so easy for him to to get all barbarian units just with this necro guard. So I didn't manage to overrun those 10 inside this skeletons over here, but he wasn't able to pass his test for stupidity either, so this is a picture after his second movement phase. Yeah, there is it. So yeah, this is the phase I didn't manage to kill them. I managed to kill them, but I didn't got the overrun. So that's why this was the picture after this, and then this. So he charged. My Hell Riders here, I just hold. I thought about maybe maybe to just flee, but then I would stand somewhere like here, and I was pretty scared that I maybe could block the Shaggott's pass. So that's why I just hold. He also had to take some tests for the ruin, and yeah, I mean, he even had to roll, I think, something like 8 or so. I mean, it's a pretty safe charge, but he also could have failed. Yeah, but I just didn't want the Shaggot wouldn't be able to charge next turn the chariots. So, like I said, he failed his stupidity test, and yeah, he just charged here the Hell Riders and reformed the archers so that the lords couldn't charge into this catapult. Yeah. So this wasn't possible for him, and he cast some spells. Sniper, I think, on the Shaggot. I just let that through. D6 hit strength 10, wounding on my leadership 9. Yeah, well, I can take one of them. So I think I lost just a wound there. And he also got another movement spell through, I think, so he redirected both Shaggots. So next turn is after my third movement phase. Yeah, I started moving out with the barbarians so that they could maybe escape. I think they also had how was this called? The extra d6 for moving, something like this. Not for moving, for charging. It's also a spell his sorcerer gets when he's on the Arc of Ages. So that's why I think I didn't move them more in that direction. Yeah, well, I don't know. But what happened here? I charged with both lords the skeleton chariots. He could see them here just behind the hill. Maybe you see that better on the last picture. So he could see these chariots, and then he charged that way and he charged that way. And the chariot over here just didn't pass that panic test he had to take for the destruction of the unit of the Hell Riders. So he just fled away, and I didn't have that charge, but I could pin down the skeleton chariots with my lords, and I charged here with the barbarian horsemen, the skeleton archers, and killed all of them, but didn't manage to overrun with a 9 inside the next unit, which was pretty okay because I'm frenzy and I had to overrun. Off the table, but yeah. So, but he had a last shot on his third turn, and I already moved out with barbarians. I think this was a mistake because I'm really just not allowed to move these guys. Just until the point where this thing is dead. I can't let can't let him have the shot on one of his units. It's just too crucial if we play capture the flag. And then I think I placed this checker pretty poorly because it was pretty easy for him to just place them outside of his range. I think if I just turn him a little bit that way so that he sees maybe this direction here and here, it would be fine, because if his Scarab Swarms move that direction, I'm fine, but here I have to protect the Barbarians, and that would have been a much better place for him to be. Yeah, here the Shaggy just trying to get a charge next turn, redirected the guys with the dogs. I redirected his cavalry, and the chariot just rallied, and I had the chance to charge next turn something. So what's the next picture? Yeah, the next picture is after my 4th turn. So what happened? Yeah, no, it's after his 4th turn, I think. Yeah, well, whatever. So what happened? He shot with this one shot he had on the Barbarians, killed a lot of them, but I passed the Reroll 6 test, and I just charged with the hero outside of this frenzy unit, so I didn't have to take a frenzy test for them. He's not friendly anymore, so he didn't have to overrun, and I could move them freely. They just went 3.5 inch backwards, so the chariot had, I think, a charge on 10 or something, and I didn't manage to get this. And yeah, charged with a Shaggot again in this chariot and killed many of them, and he all tried all the time to cast Reroll to Wound and Killing Blow on them, which I dispelled because this is the only spell which can really hurt me here. And he tried to get the Barbarian units with his big unit of Crypt Guard. I redirected here the Shaggot with the Shaggot these Scarab Swarms, but I made a mistake there because he looked in that direction and he was able to charge these guys with his Scarab Swarms. I mean, I think we were pretty sure about. No, we weren't sure. I was pretty clear when I said how I moved him that I wanted to redirect them. Maybe how I placed him here was not in the case where I redirected this charge into that direction, but I said, yeah, well, I want to redirect him, so you can't charge both units. He was fine with that. And just in his next turn, he said, yeah, well, I will charge here. And it was possible because I placed him a little bit off. And he argued that it isn't possible to, because I had to take a 1 inch distance from his unit, which I had. No, don't worry about that. To redirect both charges in that direction and in that direction. But I'm pretty sure it is possible. So if you imagine, I have a 50mm base. He just has a 40mm base. If I stand in front of him with 1 inch, 1 inch distance, it's not possible for him to charge anything else than my Shaggot. And I think it would be possible to place the Shaggot a little bit closer to him, because I mean here was a line of sight of this guys, and yeah, but well. So I let him have that charge. I think we were pretty clear about when we agreed what I was doing there, but yeah, well, whatever. I didn't want to discuss so much, and so I let him have that charge. I think I had to be more strict there and had to argue a little bit more. This is just, I think I could have won that, you could say, so that it isn't possible. But well, whatever. So then the next picture is, yeah, with the dead chariots. I managed to kill with a charge of the Shaggot, and the next picture is already a little bit later in the game, I think after his 5th or something like this. Yeah, so no, this is the start of my no, this is the start of his fourth turn, I would say, and then I got my fifth after that. Or I got, yeah, well, whatever. It really doesn't make any difference. He charged here with his Scarab Swarms. I managed to hold, then I reformed so I could have 21 attacks on them. He also all the time tried to cast some augment spells on them and tried to heal them. And I killed all the time many of these Scarabs, but yeah, just to ramp it up a little bit more quicker, I managed to survive this with the Barbarians. I killed all these Scarab Swarms and I made some reforms with the Barbarians, so he wasn't able to attack them. And here I charged with a chariot the last cavalry guys, and I lost 3 wounds in the rune. That was a little bit unlucky. Here I just fled from the charge and rolled only 9, so I was on the still on the table. And at this time, it would have been 16-4 for me because I killed everything of his stuff except the big unit, and I already lost half of my chariot and 2 times the Hell Riders, and he maybe only would have gotten these barbarians, so or whatever, 1 unit of barbarians. And I think I would have been able to counter all that, and maybe it was a lucky sniper a lot, but I think that would have been just impossible, in my opinion, to get one of these lords with a sniper because he had only 2 magic phase left to do this. So it would have been a fine result for me, 16-4. Yeah, it's okay. But then I just let someone talk me into a charge in this unit. I really don't know why I did it. They said something like, yeah, well, if you want to win this tournament big, I think we both have had like 40 points on that time. So 40 points out of 3 games isn't that much if you want to win the tournament or have a good scoring after the tournament. So that's why I just said, oh, well, maybe it's a good idea to park my whole army inside this unit. So I charged with both lords, both shaggets, and that unit inside his unit. Yeah, well, and I died there inside, not with everything, but and pretty unlucky and several things. But yeah, he managed to kill 1 shagget with his Vanquisher of Eternal hero, and then my Bluffer's Helm Lord fought in the challenge against his BSB. So the guy was 4 attack, strength 5, and I had 2 wounds left on my Bluffer's Helm, and he just killed him with 4 attacks, strength 5. The Bluffer's Helm Lord with his BSB. That was just stupid. This was just so ridiculous. And yeah, so I had to take some leadership tests in the end. I think 1 Jagged managed to stand there. He killed the whole unit of barbarians with a hero, which was okay, I think. That was okay to happen. And he got half of this hero because he fled out of the combat in his last turn, so I didn't have the chance to rally him. Oh well, maybe he started, right? Well, whatever. So the score in the end was 10-10 then for him. For 10-10, so a draw, not for anyone, but I was really tilted because it was such a stupid thing to charge there. I mean, I was just, yeah, well, it just can't be that there's a unit where you just charge from all angles was like 3,000 points of pure close combat madness power, and he just survived this. But yeah, he was able to do this. I think this unit is just stupid, and I mean, it's not hard, obviously. You see, it's pretty easy to win against this, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you should play something like this. Just 1 brick trying to catch the 140 points of Barbarian Horsemen with your 2,500 big brick point, which couldn't do anything in this game, right? I mean, he just wasn't able to catch anything of my stuff because I was too fast. He just has movement 4, and his only chance to do anything was maybe to get lucky and kill a unit of barbarians. But yeah, he even couldn't have done that. So I just had to take the 16-4 in that case where I had it and didn't charge there. But well, so afterwards you're always smarter. So I was really disappointed after that game. and I had a pretty bad feeling about the whole tournament, my whole tournament performance, because I wasn't that satisfied with the first and second game either against the Dark Elves. There were many mistakes I did. So yeah, I really had mixed feelings for the fifth game, and I really hope there to perform better. But yeah, hopefully you tune in for fifth and last game of this tournament too. So stay tuned. Will come in some days. So see ya guys, and thank you for watching. Bye.